Okay, good evening, good afternoon. For some reason, my guest gone. So let's see if Magda is going to join me. I will see if Magda is going to join me, my guest. So guys, if you don't mind, bear with me one moment because I was here with Magda. Magda is still in her company environment, so maybe something happened, with her internet. So please make sure to join me here and let me text her because I'm not sure if she knows that she needs to come back to me here. 1 second, okay? I'm just going to text her. Yes, Magda is with us. Great. Okay, Magda, great. Because I lost you for the moment, and
I
people
know.
for you.
I know. I'm so sorry. I had to switch on my because I think there's some issues with my work computer and your device and your software. I just don't think I can do it.
Exactly. Okay, so Magda, let me start from the beginning because I just wanted to tell my introductions, but you just gone, so I just need to welcome our audience. So guys, the most important questions for my interview today with amazing Magda. First of all, we are going to do our best today with, this beautiful lady with her help to give you an answer for two questions. How the Silva method can help employees and organizations to be more successful. And then, we are trying to do our best to tell you a little bit more about intuition and if is it possible for us, for people who are connecting with business, sales, organizations, to introduce more type of intuition and decision-making process in our company, again, to make our work environment better and better. So, wow, we have already so many people here, guys. I'm absolutely delighted to have you here. Let me first of all introduce you myself. So, you know me. I know that there is so many people joining us recently. And Magda, I think that because of that powerful topic that we are going to talk today. So first of all, my name is Katarzyna Ostasz. I am the host of this channel, Silva Method instructor, business and mindset coach. And today I have absolutely beautiful human being beside me. Her name is Magda Pepper. So before I will tell you more about Magda, I have to ask you, how are you keeping today? How are you? Because you are still in your work environment.
Oh no.
I just want to ask you, how are you keeping? And just for you guys to know, we are both connecting to you today from Dublin, Ireland. So Magda, how are you doing?
I'm very good. Very excited. Today we're running the second week of our live training, so that's why I'm still in the office, and it's really exciting to be able to work with people in the office environment, but at the same time, it's very new and we're learning so much more. So happy to share everything with you today, guys, and hopefully you'll find it useful.
Super, Magda. I'm also actually very happy when I saw you that you were still in that very innovative and creating work environment. I even thought, wow, it's going to be even more interesting, for our audience. So I just want to welcome a few people that are already with us. We have Aga. Hi, Aga. We have Malik, and we have many, many more people. So guys, if you don't mind to share with us from which place around the world are you connecting with us? As I mentioned to you, Magda and myself, we do live in Dublin. So we are connecting with you from Dublin. So just before I'm going to tell you more about Magda, I'm just going to tell you that we're probably going to spend today around 45 minutes, an hour chatting about this powerful topic. And if you don't mind also, once you are going to find out that there is something interesting and you want to ask some questions to Magda, you are more than welcome to leave it in the comment box below, because you will see why today Magda is with us, and I can assure you that this is absolutely great human being to talk about, mindset, intuition in the work, very, very exciting work environment. So Magda, I am going to start. I'm going to introduce you to our audience, and then first of all, we are going to talk a little bit more about you and your relation with the Silva method. And as I mentioned, then later on, we are going to move to the topic connected with, intuition and Silva method in order to organization and how we can improve everything what we can learn people, amongst our company. So Magda Pepper, she's today my guest. Magda is a Silva Method graduate. I would say that quite new in our community, but very, very effective and very passionate about everything what we do here. She's also creative and innovative learning design consultant with a 12-year experience in first-class learning design and management in the context of digital advertising and sales enablement. Also, and I found this very, very powerful, Magda is a co-creator of Google Sales School, award-winning sales onboarding program. She has so many passions. I'm going to tell you about Magda later on as well. My first impression that she made on myself during our 4 days training, but how she described her passion, she said that her passion lies in holistic approach to behavior and mindset transformations, which comes across the experimental learning programs that she actually designs. She takes inspirations from so many different sources, such as behavioral science, neuroscience, psychology, and mindfulness. Personally, she is a mother of 2 phenomenal kids. This is what she said. This is absolutely amazing. And she's passionate about mental health, diversity, inclusion in the world. And she's trying to do her best to put her energy to build awareness around those topics. So Magda, wow, once again, it's a huge pleasure, to have you here. Let me start it. I remember when you joined our class, our training, we actually had a very beautiful group of people, ladies at that time. I found you very professional, but at the same time, very easygoing. I remember you, to sometimes be very serious in terms of sharing with us your insight about the topic that we were sharing in our class. But at the same time, you shared with us so many different insights on very creative and innovative ways. So, I just want to describe you, Magda, because, she has this something special within herself that you might have a feeling that yes, she's a very experienced person, but at the same time you will see that she's very easygoing. And I can tell you, knowing Magda maybe not so well, but I would say for a quite of while, that she is this kind of the person that you are going to meet her on the street and you can go with her straight away to have a coffee. So Magda, that will be my welcoming and my first impression, how I came across your personality when you join our classes. But talking about you and our classes, let's start, to talk about your journey with the Silva method. Would you mind to share with us how everything started that you actually were brought to the Silva method?
Of course. Well, it's a very long journey. You might be surprised, but as yourself, I come from Poland, and when I was a teenager, a lot of my family, extended family, my uncles, cousins, etc., went through Silva trainings, and was a big deal in our family. Everyone was just absolutely mesmerized by the power of the method, and it was like my cousin, we were like 12 years old, and she was telling me about learning a language and how she was counting down from 100 to 0 or to 1, and like how powerful it was in her head before going to sleep. And all those stories, they really resonated with me, but at the time I didn't take it. And this method has persevered with my family since that time. So it's been like, I don't know, 20, maybe 30 years of everybody, like all my cousins, who are just really focused on like their own well-being, on mindfulness, on like improving themselves and getting better. they continued with that method for their most of their lives. And when pandemic hit, I actually struggled quite a lot. Being a mom of two, full-time job,
Yeah.
working in a high performing kind of role, and fast-paced corporation. It was a tough time for many of us, and I talked to my family a lot and talked to my cousins, and they were like, why don't you just do this training? It will help you. It will help you find peace. It will help you find your, like kind of reframe your mind, and also do and accomplish what you really want. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And the funny thing is that I don't know, as some of you might know, I work in Google, so it was like suddenly everything started aligning to me for me to find out about Silva in Dublin, find Kasia, join her course. I found an online course as well by Vishen Lakiami, who also trains Silva Method, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this is just the world, the universe is aligning for me to do it. So I did the course, and I have to say, I did the online course, which I really adored, but being with Kasia for the 2 weekends was a completely different experience. Like your guided meditations were magical. I really, really enjoyed it. I felt like I got the foundations of Silva, which was also really good. And maybe the perception you got from my behavior in your class, the whole bringing up examples and maybe some professional examples. What I've realized through your course is that a lot of the foundations of Silva are used widely and broadly in any type of coaching, in creativity trainings, in mindfulness. All of this is really widespread in different disciplines at the
Yeah.
moment. So it was fascinating to learn that this guy has developed this method 50 years ago, 60 years ago,
Yeah.
and now everybody's using a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's just works, and it's
Yeah.
super powerful. So getting the source of the truth was um, was really good for me. It was like
Mhm.
mind blowing. Let me say
That's
that.
super. Yeah, so it's like universe got your back, you found a sign. As you
Yeah.
mentioned, you first of all, found the online course, and then, you've been attracted, to the course which I was providing in Dublin. And here we have you, with so many, I would say so result. We will see, because as I said, right, it's just 6 months or 7 months ago that you completed the course, but like, uh, it's very important, I think, for our audience to emphasize that you were not really blank coming to the course, because like you said, you were so aware about so many different approach. And I'm happy to hear that, because I can actually, confirm that everything what we teach people in Silva as a fundament, it's now appearing in so many other approaches. So for me, it's absolutely pleasure to observe as well. Okay, Magda, so now let's talk about the Silva tools, right? Because I think that people would be very, very interested to kind of listening from you. Okay, I know her story, but now in which life scenario I can use the Silva method technique and tools. So if you don't mind to share with us, in which environments, in which life situation you are going to use the Silva method the most? Because I'm going to add here one thing, that obviously, it's very holistic method. So we can use the Silva method in so many different surroundings and so many different activities during our day. But if you don't mind to share with us few areas that now you are quite confident and you are aware that, yes, I am absolutely using this and this is very effective way.
Of course. Okay. One that is my very frequent occurrence is the mirror of the mind technique. I mean, like I use it so frequently, it's probably unhealthy at this stage. I love this technique because it's very, very simple, intuitive. It allows me, it's just like I do a lot of coaching at work as well. And and I notice how our mindsets are creating our reality. And this tool is exactly for that. It's change the mindset that creates your reality. And the first time I used it was when my cousin has guided me through this meditation
Mhm.
when I was like 20 something. And and I couldn't believe in the power it had on my brain, like how I changed my perception of certain circumstances, etc. How maybe I started noticing opportunities, and just that simple, meditation or visualization, which helps you open up another areas of your brain, is um I can't even. I'm going to use the word mind blowing a lot,
Mhm.
or like my
It's
daughter says,
really,
it will
yes.
blow your mind.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that one's my favorite. I
Mhm.
oftentimes use the um, the centering exercise with
Mhm.
my children.
Okay.
So I put them to sleep like this, for example. I help them relax their bodies. I help them. So I don't know if it's centering exercise, but I definitely get them through, the get relaxed, go into a
Physical
tranquil
and
place.
mental relaxation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my son adores it. He's like, Mommy, can you do the counting thing again? And he loves when I guide him through, like, the peaceful place that he can be in, and like I tell him all the positive statements, and I sometimes get him into sleep. So it's like, you're going to now fall asleep, you're going to wake up at 7 a.m. and you're going to be fully awake, full of joy and energy for the day. And he falls asleep calm and peaceful, even if he had like a day where he just felt like maybe lots was going on and he was finding it hard to calm down. So that definitely, I use that for my son. My daughter, maybe a little bit less. I do a lot of breathing with her, but I do
Mhm.
it for myself as well.
Mhm.
So I've noticed that whenever I do it, I have very beautiful dreams, and then I wake up remembering them as well. So I try to do that. I don't necessarily journal them, but I love interpreting dreams just for fun.
Mhm.
Um, and another one I did was, especially in work environment,
Mhm.
when I don't necessarily know the outcome. So we
Mhm.
have this thing called thriving in ambiguity. When you genuinely don't know the outcome of what's going to happen, you're trying to
Yeah.
implement something very new, and you're trying to make an impact on a lot of people, but it's so unknown that you don't really know where it's heading, and how you're even going to approach it. So
Mhm.
in that, I would use the free scenes technique, where you start with like the problem, and you really deeply visualize how terrible it is, and how people are so unhappy and struggle. And then this one small thing you're going to do, and then you imagine the outcome in which everybody is just happy, and the positive change. So when you ask me if I have an example, I can give you an example of a story when I used this technique, and I nearly fell off the chair with the
Mhm.
results it given me. So I was so
Please, if
impressed.
you don't mind, of course, share with us.
Okay. So it was I was I was I was working on a project which was quite innovative. I'm not going to tell you the details, but it
Of
was quite
course.
innovative. It was very different approach to what we had previously. I was supposed to like propose a solution to a problem we had at work in our organization, and I proposed something very new and very drastic and dramatically different to what we've done so far. But so I've built out my presentation, and I had to influence a number of people. I had to influence the leadership in my team. I
Mhm.
also had to influence a very different team of engineers who would possibly work on the solution,
Mhm.
and obviously, the people we work for. So there was a lot of unknown, and a lot of people that I was quite scared that they're gonna say no to me.
Mm-hmm.
And on that day, when I was to present my solution to my leadership team,
Mm-hmm.
I did the freeze scenes technique in the morning, and I imagined the world in where the problem was just so prevalent, everybody suffered. Then I did my presentation to my leadership team, and then
Mm-hmm.
as a result, all these things happened, and everyone was super happy in the end. This is like the very minimalistic description of what happened in my head. It was really beautiful and very deeply colorful, let's say. And
Mm-hmm.
that day, what happened, first of all, is the team of engineers that I had to influence. I started looking around, and turns out is led by a person I know from my time in London. We used to sit next to each other, and we would go to lunches together. So I was like,
Mhm.
hey, I have this project. And she's like, okay, send it over to my team. Then I realized that my leadership team is already in my presentation without me even sharing it with them, and they're looking through my plan and they're reviewing my proposal before I even go to the meeting and present it to them. And like I was like, okay, how did they even get this? Like, how did? And turned out that the engineer shared it with my leadership, saying, hey, it's a good idea. Do you want to work on this? So when I went into the meeting with my bosses, this
Mhm.
just seemed unbelievable. I was so excited. I was just full of energy. I mean, like sometimes you get, the jitters. You're scared.
Of
It's
course.
important to you. And I was just so full of beans at this stage. I was like, this is going to work. There's no chance it's not going to work, because everything so far is just magically aligning for it to happen. And obviously the meeting went really well. There were some questions, and people were obviously asking some really good questions, and I had answers to all of them. And yeah, everybody said yes, let's work on this, let's do it, let's make it happen. So it just,
Well done.
I
Yeah.
only wanted to get a yes from two people, and I got a yes from seven people. Let's put it this way. And people that I didn't even know that day. So,
Mhm.
and they didn't know about me. So it was serendipity. It was universe answering my prayers. I don't know how you want to call it, but it was
Everything, mix of
beautiful.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to summarize this, Magda, because it's absolutely amazing. Because like in everything what you just share with us, we can see a huge power of activating your mind potential. And you mentioned about faculty of geniuses like imagination, visualization, but also like you said, it was the huge power of your intention. I believe mixed together with your heart desire, with your intuition. So absolutely everything what we teach people during our seminar. So well done, well
Yeah.
done. And now probably because you've already put us into these beautiful vibrations of having results and success stories, because like you mentioned of the Silva as well. Can you please share with us a little bit more results that you kind of believe that you've got because of the training that you've completed? And I remember I've received from you very nice testimonials that in which you share with us that, I can just with ease manifest the parking slot. I'm waking up on the time when I desire. I know how I can increase my energy, but maybe, there is something more that you just want to share with us
Mm.
at this moment. If not, that's totally fine. But I'm just wondering, I always like to know, how quickly people can manifest what they want, especially that I mentioned to our audience, you are 6 months in terms of Silva graduates, but we know that you have more wider experience from the
Mhm.
past.
Okay. So at the end of your course, we do this one, this visualization of your life's purpose, where we are trying to figure out and ask the universe the questions of what am I here for. And
Mhm.
in my visualization, or it was light that I was carrying to help people. And it was incredibly powerful. It was beautiful, magical. I loved the meditations. Were just like, if there's a side effect of you feeling incredibly relaxed, inspired, and just fulfilled, that's perfect. But there's additional results of it where I actually was like, okay, that's what I'm here for. Like, this is beautiful. I saw this, and I don't necessarily know exactly, but I could tie it to some of the life goals that I have. So at work again, like I mentioned, we have like a Googler to Googler coaching program. And I, a long time ago, created my profile and offered my coaching services to people.
Mhm.
Uh, and I was thinking, like, that's part of my goal. Like, I did that because I want to bring that light to people. I want to help them. But nobody's ever signed up for a session with me, so I kind of forgot about it. And after your training, when we had that focus on your purpose, and then we had to plant the seed for this to happen in your life, it was,
Yeah.
again, would blow your mind. I love those meditations so much. Um, I went back to work the next week, and I had I'm not gonna lie to you. Not only people signing up for my coaching sessions, and like I didn't do absolutely anything. They just started popping up like mushrooms after the rain, right? And then I had random people. I have no idea how they found me. A team from US sent me a request to do a well-being/mindfulness session for them. I was like, wait a minute, I am not ready for that, but I'm gonna just take it. I'm just gonna do it because you know what, my purpose is coming to fruition. Like, this is what's happening when you realize what you want to do. So that
Wow.
led to another session, and the teams would just spread word of mouth, and I was like, okay, I can do that. I did one for my team as well, which is really lovely. I was like, I have a team of people who professionally facilitate trainings, right? So I was incredibly scared, but they were really kind, to say the least, and receptive. So that was good. And then out of nowhere, I got this recognition in, like, our vice president would send this newsletter every month, and there was my name as the champion for well-being, and I was like, wow,
Yay.
this is phenomenal. Like, I don't know who sent that in, who recognized me for that, but it came back, which was lovely. So I have coaching sessions once or twice a week now with people in work, and I love it. So yeah.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that recognition with us, because I actually wanted to ask you to share that information with us, because I remember, that
Mm,
I heard that from you, it's some times ago. But again, listening to your story, just to make everything easier for people. Absolutely. You made your decision. Like you said, I was not ready, but I really wanted. And I just basically wanted to try. So
mm,
your courage, your decision making process, and I believe that that absolutely beautiful energy of vibrations, that yeah, I'm just going to try. It doesn't matter what. That's my mission, like you mentioned, right? This is how I want to help people. So again, everything what we showing people and teaching people during the Silva Method seminars was kind of combined in your story. So absolutely amazing, and congratulations, and how easy it was for you. And I think that very joyful at the same time. This is also very important, because again, we have these beliefs that we have to do everything in order to making everything so hard. We need to work hard to do this, to do that, to achieve this, to achieve that. And now listen to Magda, guys. Joy, and of course courage to take the task on board, and then look at her recognitions by the end. So Magda, I love this story. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And in terms of our first part of conversations, because I just want people to listen to your story, and then because of your expertise, because of your experience, because of your specialization, Magda, I actually was not sure if you are already using this kind of tools or techniques in terms of your learning programs that you design. But having this experience, right? Because now I know that you have this experience. What you can tell us and what you can share for people who maybe, you know, are going to work on the same roles, the same positions that you are holding right now, how the Silva method generally can help employees and organizations to be more successful, especially nowadays, right? That we know that there is a lot of things to improve.
Oh my goodness, there's like my company is incredibly supportive of like well-being and resilience, and we have a lot of trainings in work about it. There's a lot of people who are offering their own time to support each other. So that is definitely a primary focus. Like we recognize we're all humans. We have our limits. We have our potential, right? From a learning design point of view, I know like I haven't actually been successful in like incorporating meditation into my trainings because they're very pragmatic. They're all about you know skills and product, etc. But I do believe that it's almost like learn how to learn, and maybe in time I'll be able to like encourage my team to introduce like maybe stuff like, okay, in order to learn the super complex topic, you can meditate before you do that, and you can set yourself up for success. Open up this brain drawer that's going to help you process this information and build that knowledge and build that muscle around it. So we all know that you know it's a brain is a muscle. So how can we stretch it to allow for more to come into it? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but like I feel like there's definitely an opportunity for us to learn how to learn with things like Silva Method. And again, in your work, there's a lot of things about resilience. The times are what they are. Like I train sales teams, and we know that world is going through a lot of stuff at the moment. Inflation, you know, businesses are struggling after pandemic, etc. So trying to even like build your own capacity to come and show up to work and to come and deal with customers, deal with their problems, deal with everything could sometimes you would definitely benefit with meditation, with some intentional mindset setting and things like this. So I'm a big advocate for that, and I definitely encourage people to do that. So even now in this training that I mentioned, I offered to run a guided meditation in a break. So if people want to come in and they want to just meditate for 10 minutes, because it's hard, because there's loads to learn, because there's a lot to process, switch off your brain, recharge it, and go back to learn even more. I think it would definitely help.
No, that's very powerful what you just said, and like you said, you are quite lucky because your company is offering a lot of well-being support for you. So again, thinking about my experience working with similar companies like yours, I think also that everything what I did was also with relations to trying to open up management level of particular company to give an understanding the Silva method actually can help you to relax a little bit more. And we know, right, that from that high level very fast working environment, being in the relaxations level, we are not really reacting to some decision making process, but we can actually respond because of that beautiful relaxation state. So like you said, even process more informations for people. So that's super. And let's talk now about our intuition, Magda, because I think that the topic is arising right now, and we know like Oprah Winfrey, Marie Forleo, you mentioned Vishen Lakhiani, Richard Branson, then they all talked about the power of intuition in their successes, decision-making process. So again, asking you, because of your expertise, because of your experience, what will be your opinion? How, that decision making process coming from intuition, yeah, can have an impact again on being more successful in our businesses, knowing,
Mm,
and everything what you know, and having experience in terms of everything what you just
mm.
in the past.
I think I think there's a journey to be had when it comes to intuition. I think that even though there's a lot of like leaders that you mentioned that have embraced that already, I think there's still a journey. And I'm sitting in a room which literally has a word journey on the wall. Probably that's like so there is a journey to for people to like we are at the moment we're at the place where people realize that they need to take care of their mental health, that they need to take care of their well-being, that they need to spend time meditating to be more present and aware and kind of get to that place of relaxation. I don't think we're yet in a place of you need to listen to your intuition. And the reason that like if you look around you, the amount of people who listen to advice, to who go on social media to look for ideas, for inspiration, how to bring up their children, how to run their businesses, how to be successful. There's nothing about intuition there. It's all about listen to others. It's not listen to yourself. So I think as a society, we're at the moment very externally focused. And I think there's a huge journey to be had to actually start listening to your own intuition. And once people experience that, once they go through that, like I personally had that moment where as a mom, I went through to a stage where I was like, I can't actually listen to anyone anymore. I'm like so fed up with all this advice that surrounds me that I feel like I lost touch with who I want to be for my children. And I purposefully switched off everything and started listening to myself. And when you as a human being, I'm not saying a business person or a mother or anyone, as a human being, when you decide it is time for me to listen to myself and start understanding my own intuition and start listening to my body and what's it telling me, that's when we're going to be open for this conversation. I think there's a huge journey there. And I'm delighted that there's so many people who are starting to role model it and they discovered and show that this is so important. But in our heads, like as a society, we're not ready for that just yet. That's
Mhm.
my opinion. I
Mhm.
think we have to start from individuals and like
Yes.
and go on a journey.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. Like, I really like what you just said, that everything is start from us. And once we are going to change and be aware about this approach, then we may kind of influence other, right? But I would
Mm.
say that the issue is rising slowly in terms of us as a human being, right? So I think that people are more aware that, okay, we need to listen more ourselves, because then the word is just more beautiful, and I can find myself, like you said, I might be fed up with that advices. So I think that yes, starting from human being is a clue. But again, knowing what we know also, I absolutely agree that it is a journey. But we know, we have so many science-based facts that so many leaders are taking on board intuition and making decision based on our
Mhm.
intuition, because we know that intuition can see more than our rational mind, right? So
Sure.
I know what you wanted to say,
And
because
can I add something, Kasia? So
sure, sure.
when we were in your training, and we did the like the mind reading, I'm gonna call it. It
Mm-hmm.
was incredibly powerful, and this type of activities make you realize how really powerful your mind is, like how much it can do, and it is supernatural, right? It is.
Exactly.
And and again, if you were able to show people, look, check this out, try it once, see how it works,
Mhm.
and now if it works, do it again and again and again, you definitely could succeed. So I'm not saying it doesn't work. I feel like a lot of people aren't ready for that conversation yet. I think it's a matter of either showing them or like it takes time to go in on your
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. Yeah. So
growth.
like, so like your advice would be experience first of all on your own level, see how powerful it is, and then we can have, this conversation amongst, like you said, corporate, business world, sales world, etc. That's fine. Yeah, that's perfect. And we know, like you said, there is so many advantages of intuitive making decision-making process. So it will be very, very worth it. So Magda, thank you so much. We will see now, if you don't mind to stay with us maybe for 5-10 minutes of more, we will see if we are going to have some questions to Magda, guys. So if you don't mind, we are going to wait with Magda a few more minutes. You are more than welcome to write your questions to Magda and ask her actually, about things that she has an expertise in. You can ask her some questions about the Silva method. I think that she would be more than capable to answer you these questions. And from my perspective, Magda, absolutely thank you so much for being with us today. For even connecting, with this beautiful, creative and innovative environment. That's absolutely amazing. We will wait. And maybe, before we will go, we will see if we are going to have some questions. Would you like to share some inspiring, powerful messages about us as a human being, with that beautiful potential and intuition that we do have? Any words, any messages that you would like to leave us today with something inspiring, I would say?
Yeah. Well, even this morning, I had a coaching session with a wonderful girl, and I shared with her the Marianne Williamson quote, which I shared in your training as well, is that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I think in that coaching session, we were talking a lot about how we focus on that fear of being inadequate so much in our life, of fear of not belonging or not fitting in an environment that doesn't always suits us or doesn't fuel our growth, and how important it is to continue to think, really what I'm scared of is not that I'm not going to belong to this group, but I have these dreams and desires and capabilities and potential that is so powerful. And if you start diving into that, and if you start focusing on yourself, on your own intuition, on your own dreams, on what you really want, the whole world will start conspiring. And I mean, like, I look at this quote so many times because it's just unbelievable how scared we are of being successful and being good and being the spreaders of joy and the spreaders of positivity and so on. So if I can encourage anyone to like scan your thoughts, see which ones of them are the ones that make you flourish and bloom, and get rid of all the ones that make you feel the fear, and just,
Yes,
you know, focus
absolutely.
on yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we can use it cancel for that, as we all know, right? So how quickly
Yeah,
it is. This
yeah,
is, the Silva tool. So yes, Magda, it was very powerful. And again, absolutely, I resonate with that so much. The world would be more beautiful, like you said, and we are going to be so joyful as a human being, So that would be definitely something amazing. Okay, Magda, so I cannot see any questions here. For people who will be rewatching my chat with Magda, guys, please make sure then, if you have some questions to her, make sure to leave a comment underneath or below our video, because the chat option will gone, will go, so it wouldn't be available. So Magda, once again, thank you so much for being
thank
with
you.
us today, spreading your knowledge, your beautiful energy, and who knows, maybe we are going to see each other next time at some stage. So now make sure to relax, go home and do your best, coach people, and make sure to design this powerful learning program for your employee. And who knows, maybe in the future for your own and for people who are going to join
That'd
your
be lovely. Thank you so much, Kasia. I really
you.
appreciate the invitation. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.
Thanks so much. See you then. Bye.
Bye.